In another story today, a Gift of the Givers has confirmed that Swedish national Johan Gustafsson, who has been in captivity alongside South African Stephen McGown, has been freed. The pair were abducted in Mali in Timbuktu by al-Qaeda in November 2011. Earlier this year, McGowan's mother passed away after being ill for several years. All right, well, for more on this, let's talk now to Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, who is in KwaZulu-Natal from Gift of the Givers. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Tell us what you know about Gustafsson's release.
Hi, Peter. I got a call from several Swedish media late this afternoon asking me if I was aware that Johan Gustafsson was released. And I said, no, I had no knowledge of that, although we were working on the case. And then they confirmed that a foreign minister of Sweden had made an announcement that Gustafsson was released and that he was on a plane from Mali to Sweden. A short while ago, Gustafsson's sister, the one I've been dealing with for this last 2 years, sent us a message to us and the McGowns, we're on the same group, just to say that she can't speak now. She's been with the brother for the last 1.5 hours. He's just landed in Sweden. And then it was confirmed that a Swedish government plane brought him into Sweden. She said that she'll talk to us later. There was no further information. And I know the foreign minister was going to go live on a press conference soon. He may be at it right now.
So whilst all of this was going on, were you continuing with your efforts to get both men freed?
Yes, we haven't stopped for the last 2 years. June 23rd was exactly 2 years since we started. But it had gone slow in the last few weeks for several reasons. One, it's Ramadan. Secondly, the leadership had changed from the Arab to the Tuareg. Thirdly, there has been a new group formation. The different groups have united under a new leader. Fourthly, there were a lot of fighting between the Mali troops and al-Qaeda and between the French troops and al-Qaeda. And there was internal fighting. So communication, movement, discussion, negotiation became very, very difficult. And even the intermediaries told us, look, right now it's very difficult to connect with anybody. So we just have to wait a little longer before they can speak to anybody.
Do we know anything about Stephen McGowan's state of health? I suppose Gustafsson is going to have a lot of intelligence that he might be able to share.
That's what we're waiting for, but of course we can't pressurize him right now. We've told the family, on their own they offered, the moment Gustafsson can speak, they will get us whatever information they can give us. But right now he's swamped by his family, and of course everybody in Sweden is interested. My only fear is that with Stephen being left alone now, initially there were 3 of them. The Dutch one was freed by French troops, and then of course Johan and Stephen were together for several years, and now Johan is gone and Stephen is left alone. I'm worried about him being left alone for a long period.
So are you hopeful that you can get a result with time?
Yes, we're hoping. In fact, we've already contacted the intermediaries the moment we heard about Johan's release. We just managed to get them a few minutes ago. The network was very bad. They confirmed that Johan was released. They said Stephen is still in captivity. They will talk to them captors again, but we need to give them some time for the reasons they gave us.
All right, remind us again what the demands have been for Stephen's release up until now.
Initially, it was 10 million euros for each of them. Then it came down to 5 million euros each, plus the release of political prisoners. Then they waived the political prisoners issues, and they said 5 million euros each. Then they waived the euros and said political prisoners release only, don't worry about money. And then they came back and said final offer, 4.5 million for the Swede, 4 million for the South African. And in all those circumstances, we said it's not possible. We then tried with religious leaders and tribal leaders to try to influence them. That we tried for many months. We didn't get any result on that. And then in January this year, they were supposed to give us a video of proof of life. And as they were going to get it to us, the fighting broke out in different regions. That video never came to us. and then everything else, which I spoke about, the new leadership, the fighting between the Mali forces and al-Qaeda and the French and al-Qaeda, and lots of things happened. So they said because of that, we couldn't get the video, and and they said, look, it's not like we send it by email or WhatsApp. We hand deliver it, and we have to go through all the zones before we bring it to you. So it's a long process, and unfortunately, they couldn't bring that to us up till now.
Without knowing what these other countries have done with the other two captives, I would imagine that these captors are probably thinking, look, we're not going to get money from the South African government. Might they lose their appetite to keep this guy in captivity because it's been a long time without a result?
Well, that's what we're hoping for. Another fact that, the Swedish one is out, whichever way it was done, I don't know. They must be thinking, you know what, the South Africans, there's going to be no more. But from the beginning, we told them, we made it very clear. We said, you know what, you guys are talking in euros, we're talking in rands. It's about 15 times the money that you're talking. It's just not possible. And our government doesn't talk to you guys, and they will not negotiate with you guys. So there's going to be no money and no talking. We're the only ones trying to talk to you, and we're hoping that you will this is an African, it's from the African continent. Can you consider it favorably? We're hoping to push that line again, and let's hope in the next few weeks we achieve something along those lines.
A little earlier on, you talked about how the leadership in the region had changed significantly. Is the politics of the zone complicating issues for you?
Not really. In fact, we understand the zone. At the end of the day, it's a transaction, irrespective of the politics. Put it bluntly, if I got 4.5 million or 4 million euros, I can have Stephen back in 48 hours. It's as simple as that. Of course, nobody wants to pay ransom, and nobody has the ransom money. So it becomes more complicated, going through different leadership and speaking to different people. Except now they're saying that the fact that it's a Tuareg leader rather than an Arab leader, they are more sympathetic. And the intermediaries feel that we can try to negotiate better with a Tuareg leader rather than an Arab leader, and there may be a way to get Stephen out without having to pay 1 cent.
Perhaps finally, Dr. Suleiman, are you continuing to get assistance from the South African government in your efforts?
Well, no. Look, we have to do the talking because they don't talk to terrorists. So they're informed as to what we do. They may have their own process of speaking to the Mali government and other governments. They do their process, we do our process, but we talk to each other, and we're both trying from each other's sides to see what can be done. The South African government and the Swedish government were in communication at some point. I'm not sure how far that is now. Whether they will get some information from the Swedish government now will be very valuable, because the government will not, Swedish government doesn't talk to NGOs, they will talk directly to our government. So hopefully between that information and what we can get from Gustafsson family and what we can do on the ground, somewhere along the line, all this information will cross and bring us some benefit to get Stephen back home.
All right, and that's where we'll leave it. We certainly wish you the best of luck with your continued efforts there. That was Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman speaking to us on this news that's broken today, that one of the captives, Johan Gustafsson, who was with Stephen McGowan, a South African, has been freed today and is on his way home to Sweden. Francis?
Thanks, Peter. South Africa's quest for an HIV vaccine